This video is going to hurt, isn't it? Because I don't think anybody was under the impression that Trisha wasn't freaky. I think we've got that, unfortunately. Alright, bunch of soft boys, Cal here. So, Trisha Paytas has been in and out of the news lately because, honestly, when is she not in and out of the news? The woman is the human equivalent of that video that you watched in high school, One Guy, One Jar. You really should stop watching, you realise that, but nevertheless, it's a bit of a train wreck and you want to carry on watching. And you hate yourself for it because it scars you for years. And no, I'm not talking from personal experience. And if you haven't watched that video, honestly, don't. Just trust me. I've got you on this. You'll be better off for it. So firstly, she made a podcast series with H3, which is called Frenemies, and it's quite hard to watch, to be honest. But it was absolute gold from the moment go.
They said it would never happen. Me and Trisha making a podcast, and frankly, I thought they were right for a while. I've been wanting to make a podcast with like another comedian for a while, and I don't mean that to compliment you. I think I mean like two big...
Now, in fairness, that's not Trisha's fault. I actually do feel quite bad for her here. I think it's unnecessary, and she seems genuinely quite hurt, which bothers me a little bit just on a human-to-human level. But this show did bring some absolute gold following this, which I just want to show you. I mean, I cannot help but show you. It is chef's kiss.
So what is the force that causes objects to fall to the ground?
Girl, you better.
I know this because my titties are low thanks to gravity.
Yay! A personal anecdote.
Can we just also say we don't actually need gravity?
I know that everything she does is just a troll, and she can't actually be that dumb, but come on, man. Come on.
What do you mean by that?
I saw someone do this. Was this a TikTok? We were watching something where someone's like, we don't actually need gravity. We were watching this with me. Like, we actually don't need it.
What do you mean that we don't need gravity?
What if it was never invented?
Invented by who?
Sir Isaac Newton.
I mean, if gravity's not real, the advantage might be that Trisha Paytas might actually just whiz off into space. As well as this, she was trending on Twitter last week because of a pretty explicit photo that I'm not going to show you. But let's just say, she went to the toilet earlier that day and, you know, there were some remains, which was something I did not need to see at 2 o'clock in the morning when it started trending on Twitter, and it kept me up all night, so cheers to that, Trish. It's all fun and games until you see a crusty bumhole on the timeline. There's no doubt it's been a typically wild time to know about the existence of Trisha Paytas, but in fairness to her, at least she hasn't offended a new minority group this time. So that's something. Anyway, that was just a little Trisha Paytas update, but let's move on to the main subject of this video. Stop the video. Right now is a great time to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Rumour has it, if you don't, then your dad will run away with Trisha Paytas. Or me. One of the two, really. It's a toss-up, to be honest. So, if you don't want that to happen, I'd press that like button right now, which is her new song, Only Fan, which, to be honest, it's a fantastic song. I have no complaints about it. I'm only kidding, it is horrendous. However, probably the best song I've ever heard sung and produced by a living chicken nugget.
I woke up this morning feeling like a chicken nugget.
I'm going to say a lot that's bad about this, don't worry. But I don't always have to be a cynical, down, awful, nasty little fucker on the internet. Sometimes I can be nice, and I want to say that this music video is actually quite well produced, and most of the shots, some of them are awful, but most of the shots are actually quite nice, and at least in terms of cinematography, look quite good.
Take it, show me you're with it. Come to my world, give it a taste, sing and lick it.
The auto-tune is strong with this one. Wow. And I'm not opposed to auto-tune. I'm not 13-year-old me who was against modern music and only liked things with guitars in and drums and wasn't keen on anything that was computer generated. No, I love Charlie XCX. She's like one of my favourite artists. But the difference is, when she auto-tunes, she uses it quite well. When Trisha uses it, I don't have a fucking clue what she's saying. And that's generally not a good thing in a song. I would like to hear the lyrics.
Get in a rhythm, take you to places that you've never been in. Something out of a fantasy.
Wow, I can just imagine Trisha's ghostwriter writing those genius lines. Come on, brain, we need to think of something to hook the listener. Something sexy, something interesting, something fun. Something like out of a fantasy, like maybe like a sexual fantasy. Like, what could we have? What could we have? Wait, I've got it. Something out of a fantasy. You genius. You've nailed it.
I told you that I'm freaky, get a little greedy. Oh, my body's knee deep.
Actually, you know what? I take it back. I would not like to hear the lyrics. Let's go back to me not understanding the lyrics.
Only fan, only one that I'm dreaming of. Take a breath, blow a kiss when I'm needing you.
This shot is just hilarious to me. Firstly, the fact that she's in space now, apparently. And let me just say, that is not appropriate attire for space travel. That is wildly inappropriate. You're not getting anywhere in that. Stupid. But to add to that, the way that at the end of the shot, she gives it a little peek downstairs. Amazing.
Only one that I'm thinking of is you. Ooh, ooh. You're my only fan, only
Look at that dead, soulless look he's got going on as he walks towards her. I believe that's the universal sign of somebody who is dating a mukbang YouTuber. If you're dating someone who does this,
These look kind of good, actually. White meat.
to make a living, then you've just got to cram those emotions and that self-worth deep down. Even if you're a fictional CGI character.
tell me I like it. Go and subscribe it. Once the back, go on attack. Once you break it and buy it. Focus my lighting on top of the bed, so you like it. Soft to the touch, wanna rush. Come give me all your love.
By this point, I've had to admit defeat and Google the lyrics, and they're something. That something isn't good, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're definitely something. Tell me you like it, come on subscribe it, get on your back, go on attack, once you break it you buy it, focus my lighting, I'm on top of the bed, just how you like it, soft to the touch, don't want to rush, when we're young in love. That's just a bunch of words, isn't it? They're just a bunch of disparate lines that you've popped together. What's the link between going on attack and setting up her lighting? Because to be honest, I set up 2 softbox lights for every video that I make. It's not a very aggressive act, and if you're doing it aggressively, you're doing it wrong.
I told you that I'm freaky, get a little greedy. Oh, my body's knee deep, oh yeah.
So it gets pretty repetitive from this point on, but I just want to show you this bit where the song's narrative, I mean, can you call it a narrative? Yeah, let's go with that. Where the song's narrative falls apart completely. Because up to now, Trish has been pretty complimentary of her OnlyFans subscribers, or specifically you who is watching the video, you as an OnlyFans subscriber. Stuff like, you're the only one she thinks of, all that kind of cool, nice, lovely BS, right? But it completely flips, and what she actually thinks of her OnlyFans subscribers comes through, which is enlightening. Why is there some Keemstar looking bloke making some pretty obvious and suspect movements in a dark, shady room? I don't need that mental image of Keemstar doing that to Trisha Paytas' OnlyFans. That is honestly a hell scenario. Also, way to sneak in a punch to the people who support you, Trisha. Nobody wants to be compared to Keem. That'll about bring us to the end of the video, so if you enjoyed it, please do like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already with your notifications turned on. That would be great. And thank you for watching, guys. I've been Carl, you've been amazing. See you later.